Yes, I would say when I'm talking specifically about Lobster, which is a very technical product, it's data integration for the logistics industry and supply chain. I'd say what makes it a bit harder is people are quite suspicious about sharing their pain points on like over the phone because there've been a few cyber attacks that happened in the UK in key systems. So I think there's been perhaps company policies advising against sharing info. So it can be really hard to get those pain points. And if you can't get those pain points, you can't then build up a business case. I would say as well, people have been in their jobs for a very long time in the UK. Logistics companies, for example, compared to, say, Germany or Benelux, where there's a bit more, people might change every 3 to 5 years. A lot of the people that I'm talking to in the UK, they've been in the same job for like 10, 15 years. They don't like change. They've been used to the same supplier for a very long time for their IT needs. So building up that trust is a little bit more hard as well. Definitely calls, and more calls. LinkedIn and emails I see them more as support to like share info or build up awareness of who you are as a person. Like sometimes I'll call up and they say, "Oh yeah, I saw your LinkedIn message," but they won't reply, but they saw it. And then when I call them, they're like, "Oh yeah, I know her." It builds familiarity. So that's how I see LinkedIn emails. I almost never get any meetings booked from those avenues. It's always calls. I think events work really, really well as well. Especially as a company, Lobster, we're breaking into the UK market. Events builds trust and brand awareness, and you can bypass that natural suspicion we were discussing earlier that people have to share like their systems that they use and the problems that has because you're face to face. So I would say those two avenues, calls and events. We did multimodal. We had a booth there last week. Really, really effective. Got a lot of great conversations going, a lot of good leads. Really got to understand what's actually happening within those companies.
Nice. And back to the calls, and just an extra question here. Are you using an AI to help you doing the preparation of that calls?
No, none whatsoever. I mean, obviously I'll research the company before the call.
Yeah.
But we don't really have any set AI tools for that, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I spoke to some of my colleagues about this. And what they shared is that when they're calling other markets, and for myself as well, when I'm calling other markets, I can talk to someone in a job that's affected by data integration, like say supply chain director. Say if I'm calling up Sweden, I can call up the supply chain director of a Swedish company. He doesn't hold that system. He doesn't control it or the budget for that system, but it directly affects him. So he will have take a meeting with me, introduce me to IT. In the UK, if you want to actually progress, at least within like supply chain, I found you need to drill down to the exact right persona who actually holds that system. So that would generally be IT director, CIO. But you can't go to them until you've got a well-developed pain. So I think sometimes people outside of the UK, when they start prospecting the UK, they think they can call up like, the supply chain director, and he's going to be really excited to like improve all his problems, and he's going to like be a champion, and it doesn't necessarily work like that. I would say industry knowledge. I think there's a lot of stuff on LinkedIn about, oh yeah, if you say this on a cold call, don't say how are you, say what are you up to, or whatever that, like it doesn't, I don't think it works. I think very quickly showing people that you understand the problem and that you're here to solve it and you don't want to waste their time is how you're going to go from an average BDR to a top performing BDR. And to do that, it's not about fancy phrases, it's about actually understanding EDI, Edifact, understanding how shipping changes can disrupt the whole flow. Those kind of, really understanding your industry as much as you possibly can is what's going to separate you from an average to a top performing BDR, and then also being very, very quick to show that value and not wasting people's time. Yeah, I mean, I think I've mentioned a few things. I would say, like I said, really understand your industry. I think one thing that I found really helped is don't see people who see IT, only go to IT once you've developed a business case. So once you've spoken to solution analysts, and then you've spoken to warehouse manager, and you've tried to get as many pain points as you can from them. If you go online and look at their website and call up the CIO and say, oh yeah, I see you're getting a new ERP system, that's so generic that I'm not going to care. You have to really understand what's happening within the company. Like I spoke to one guy, he was quite junior, he was like a warehouse manager, about, oh yeah, I see you're getting a new ERP system. Didn't do anything. But then what was actually happening was overnight shipping line changes, route updates were coming in via EDI and API and inconsistent formats. That was causing a huge amount of disruption, and this was causing a lot of problems within the company. So when I didn't speak to CIO, I spoke to maybe a IT director, and I came to him with all this info, not just, oh yeah, I see you're getting a new ERP system. I came in with all this info and I was like, hey, we can help standardize these formats for you. This is what we've done with other companies. Then he took the meeting, So I would say, yes, don't expect people who don't hold the system to be your champion. Use them to get the pain points, develop a business case, and don't go to someone super senior until you've done that.